All right, y'all. And we're back. Shalom, y'all. Call halal, you how about Shem Yao Shah? Right, we just gonna be studying today. We're gonna be chilling out to some slow music. Right. I would love to do some 80s R&B. That's typically what I listen to when I'm chilling. Um, but obviously, man, we don't own our music, so we can't do that. So we gotta do the next best thing, which are knockoffs by other nations where they do instrumentals over the shit that we've made, right? So pardon the rough look. I just got up. Right. Typically, I would be up a little later because I'm a night owl. Just to turn my schedule back over for camp. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and yeah, we're gonna get started. So I'm working on my aspect of the lesson for creation, and I am currently weighing this question. Can't talk, right? Prove God was behind creation, cite Hebrew term for God in Genesis 1 and 1, and elaborate on how Yahweh Shai would be the head of creation, and the implication of it not being the Most High God. Right. Or actually, that's not really a sentence; it's more of a statement. But either way, um, I could make those sub points. I probably should. Right. Yeah. Ooh. Hold on. What's it doing? Head of creation. Okay, actually, hold on. Solomon, why are you doing that? Hmm. Yeah, line those up. All right, hold on. Let's. There we go. Margins. All right. Anyhow. Okay. And of course, here I have A3 for answer. All right. All right. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and start yanking some stuff. Need to get a Bible app. Hmm. Actually, I think I just have a Bible. Hold up. Oh, sorry. Created. I believe that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm not sure why this shit won't go in order though. Nah, that's just a column. All right, hold on. Okay, so it's doing the most recent for each day. Yeah, that's. Or for each period. Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, either way. Yeah, I'm trying to find this Bible that I got. I got a 1611 Bible in file format, but I should still be able to use it. Hold on one second. Y'all gonna see me use the super duper secret book finding site. All right, cool. So if there's a book that you are interested in finding, Anna's Archive is an excellent site to utilize. Yeah, you're gonna have to use the slower download partners, but I'll be honest, it's free. Typically, it's not too slow. So even if you're downloading a file that's in the hundreds of megabytes, maybe a gigabyte or two, it's not that bad, and they don't limit your traffic. So, and if you do run into one that limits your traffic, you can obviously just utilize another one. So let me get rid of that. Yeah, not the best demo here, but it's fine. There we go. So we have our King James Bible that is downloading now. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, there's a book that I need to get. All right, waiting on it to finish downloading. Should only be like 2 or 3 minutes. Because there's a couple of actual pericopes that I need to grab out of the Bible. So cool. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this format. I'm used to the KJV format, or at least the Old English format, where everything is nicely written and all that. It's fine. This is all I need it for. All right. So, where we at? Jeremiah. Oh, yeah, I am not a fan of this. Okay, that's fine. I was about to say there should be multiple entries for that. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, cool. So what are we pulling? Okay, it's going to be 1 and 12. Through 17. Okay. These lines get on my nerves. It's like, all right. So Elohim in Genesis 1 and 1 refers to lesser beings in the Most High God. And Scripture attests to this account, right? So we're going to go ahead and go over it briefly. All right. We're going to go over it in the blue letter because we are going to need it there. I just don't like the way blue letter, like copying multiple scriptures. It is just cumbersome to do it in this app. But all right, cool. So we got that, and then I want to go ahead and grab Genesis. All right. So sounds simple enough, right? Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. All right. So we're going to go down here to Elohim, right? Or God, the term that's used in Genesis 1 and 1, which many people attribute to the Most High God, but they do that incorrectly. Sometimes you're going to see me looking down because there's another camera. But don't get, concerned about that. But most people, they misattribute the word God here to mean the Most High God. That's why a lot of times you can illustrate that somebody doesn't know the Bible from the very first scripture when they crack the cover. And that deals a heavy blow to those Christians who walk around being holier than thou, bashing people over the head with scriptures, especially when the only scriptures they know are like John 3 and 16, Galatians 3, all that other stuff, Galatians 3 and 28. But here we have Elohim here, and obviously it's a plural form of this word here, right? Eloha, or Eloah. But it's the plural form of it, and it means rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. Right? So when you have the Most High God, there are different terms that are used. Because if this is plural, even if you want to attribute the Most High God to this, which you certainly can't, because the Most High God made Yahushua, so he is involved in all of creation, right? But even if you wanted to attribute the Most High God, it does not change the fact that multiple entities were involved, right? So we're going to go to chapter 2, where we can see the Most High God is mentioned right here, right? Whenever you see all caps, you know the Most High God is going to be there when it says Lord God. And there you have the modernized name of the Most High God. So we're going to go into the entry here. Jehovah. We know that there are no J's, there are no E's, there are no O's or V's. right? In Paleo Hebrew. That's why we call him Yahweh. Yahweh, right? Because those are the phonetic sounds that were in Paleo Hebrew. But the point still stands here. This is where you see the Most High God at, right? And it's a completely different, Strong's entry, right? So you have Strong's entry. Let me see, H3068. For what they say is Jehovah, we know it as Yahweh, according to the phonetics that are present in Paleo Hebrew. So we see the Most High God is here. But yet in Genesis 1, you have Elohim, right? Where's another area that we could see the Elohim at in the Bible? Well, we can check that, right? So we'll go in here, and we can see a bunch of scriptures where the Elohim are present in the Bible. All right. And you'll see when the Most High God is tied to the word Elohim, you have Lord in all caps. All right. But let's see somewhere else in the Bible. As a matter of fact, I think this is a great chance to show in Psalms 82. Yeah. 82 and 6. So where it says ye are gods, this is another implication that you have to weigh, right? This is Psalms 82 and 6. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High God. Well, who is this talking about? This is talking about the Israelites. So if the Israelites are also known as rulers, judges, or divine ones, then who are those who were put into chains of darkness? You see? So you have all these implications that are basically fallout from the misunderstanding and correction, right? To be corrected on this issue of creation just from Genesis 1. You see all these things in the Bible that are misunderstood are now set in a right manner, right? But it requires that you understand what the words mean. And that's not the only instance, but this is one of the major instances where you need to understand who the Bible is talking about when it says the word God, whether it be in all caps or all lowercase or capital G with all lowercase after it. You need to understand who it's talking about. Because the Most High God is referred to as God, Yahushua is referred to as God, the angels are referred to as God, and even the Israelites are referred to as God. But if you don't know the context of what God is being referenced, you see what I'm saying? You're just going to think that they're all the same. And that's where you get things like the hypostatic union, where they believe that three entities equal one entity. You know, and I'm not saying that that's the main and primary reason, but it is one of the reasons. But when you have the understanding that the Most High God is in a tier and echelon all on his own, then this is a mistake that you won't make anymore, right? This is Isaiah 45 and 5. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. So the Most High God makes it abundantly clear that he is in a league all of his own. That's why calling Christ the equivalent to the Most High God is an affront and insult to the Most High God when Yahushua is his son. And not to mention, the Most High God is Yahushua's teacher. This is Matthew 11 and 27. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whom or whomsoever the Son will reveal him. The reason why I pulled this is for this. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. So the knowledge that Yahushua has, the power that Yahushua has, the life and existence that Yahushua has. All of it was given by his Father. Right? That's why Yahushua didn't hesitate to say that there is none good but one, and that is God the Father. So as much of a pedestal as we put Yahushua on, we do not put him equal with the Most High God, because he is not equal with the Most High God. That's why Yahushua said it himself, that the Father is greater than him. Why is that? Because Yahushua let us know that a student is never greater than his master. Right? This is Matthew 10 and 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. Right? So again, to say that Yahushua is equal with the Most High God reveals a critical misunderstanding of the scriptures that is rooted more so in the Old Testament than the New, because more times than not, if you see someone, or if you're encountering somebody who believes in the Trinity, you can simply take them to Genesis 1:1 and ask them, who was the God in Genesis 1:1? It is a very digital and stark way of contrasting their understanding, because either they see it correctly or they don't. And then you could start the correction from there. That way you build them up in such a way that when they think about the things that they once thought they knew with the new understanding, they can start to update what they once thought they understood. Right? But let me go ahead and write down some of these implications. Again, this is just more so an in and out lesson, where as I add to my little answer sheet, I'll come over here to the camera, or I'll come back to y'all, right? And I'll just kind of update y'all on what I'm adding here. But y'all can watch me type and just kind of chill out. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and move that. And we'll put that right there. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, that's fine. Do that. That's fine. All right, I'm not gonna trip over that. That's cool. Actually, you know what? Oh yeah, that looks ugly. All right. You know what? We'll do that. Why is this shit not uniting? That's the thing. Like, I literally just had to do the other part. All right. Does it drag both? It does. Okay, so the triangle. Okay. Okay, so let's. here. All right. Um, oh, all right. And of course, man, these scam calls, bro. What the fuck, man? I'm gonna turn my phone off. Hold on. So I can, there we go. But you'll see that I'm trying to get 2 and 3 witnesses for everything that I'm bringing out here. This is 2 Corinthians 13:1. This is the third time I'm coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. So by 2 or 3 witnesses shall everything be established, right? So if you're looking to prove a point in the Bible, that's why arguing with Christians is so difficult. They pull one verse and then they just try to wrangle that one verse to make it mean what they want it to mean. And then they'll go to other things that are completely unrelated because they don't understand what it's talking about, right? More times than not. So what we try to do is we try to, well, we prove what we say, right? We don't try, we do, right? As Israelites. And we get 2 and 3 witnesses to corroborate what we are asserting, right? So if I say that Yahushua was behind creation, I should have no problem going into the Bible and getting 2 and 3 witnesses, which display exactly that, right? So, so we already have here and here. So Colossians 1 and Hebrews 1. What else can we do? Actually, you know what? What is it? Revelations 21. Oh no, that's 22. That's right. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it is 21. Yeah, not to say 21 and 6. Oh shit, hold on. So I don't know what music is going to play after this. Should be just some, like I said, some slow music. We ain't doing nothing crazy over here. So. You know what? I'm gonna put those as 2 different points. Yeah, that'd be better. All right, so we're gonna look and see what alpha means. First letter of the Greek alphabet, alpha, to indicate that he is the beginning and the end. But see, here's the thing. Beginning of what? See what I'm saying? See, and this is where the understanding of the average Christian ends, right? But if you understand that he is the beginning of creation, then it makes a lot more sense when the Bible says he's the only begotten of the Father. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's see what omega means. Okay, last letter in the Greek alphabet, and the last. The last of what? The last of creation. He's the creator, or the first creation, right? Because he created everything in between, and he punctuated creation as well, because he is the last Adam, right? As it says in Corinthians. This is 1 Corinthians 15:45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit, actually, hold on. Where is it? That's not all I want. Him, we all live. Nah, that's not what I want. We're gonna go to the book. That's what I wanted. Verse 22. Actually, I want this one too. All right. So this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 19. If in this life only we have hope in Yahweh Shai, we are of all men most miserable. But now in Yahweh Shai, risen from the dead, and become the first fruits of them that slept. So he is literally the first fruits of those who have been put to death on this earth. He is the only one to have overcome death because he was prophesied to do so. All right. That's what makes him the Omega. Right. Though he be the first of creation, he is the last to be basically made alive again. And by made alive, I mean made perfect with a glorified body. Right. He's the first fruits of them that are going to be in the kingdom of heaven. He is the absolute first. Right. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahushua shall all be made alive. Now, why is that? Well, it's because as Adam was in Yahushua was Adam, right? Hence why through Adam we were all able to be condemned, and through Yahushua we are all able to be saved. Right? It's a correction at the same point of where the problem originated. Though there be more people on the earth. Also, hence why he has to be redeemed first and has been redeemed first, and we will be redeemed on the back end when he returns, and we are made like unto him. But this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 45, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Right? That last Adam is Yahushua. Again, going back to verse 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahushua shall all be made alive. All right, because he is the first Adam. Right. Let me make sure. Actually, there's one more. Ah, that's what I want. Cool. And that's verse 20. Actually, I can go straight to 21. Verse 3 and 21, for the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Right? So that's why we know that the first Adam being Yahushua, all the people born of Adam, which all of us go back to Adam, every last one of us, right? That's why the grain of evil that was in Adam was intentionally put there by the Most High God, right? Now, I'm saying that the Most High God was behind the wickedness that came into the world. Now, one of the things, hold up. Well, that's not me, okay. Right, but one of the things that's often misunderstood about the Most High God is that the Most High God does absolutely no evil. but his ways are not our ways. And this is one of the reasons why Israelites need to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the Bible so they can stay in their lane and stop making such stupid statements, because the Most High God created everything. This is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. The Most High God is saying this. How do I know that? All right. Thus saith the Lord. All right. Thus saith the Lord. This is the Most High saying this. All right. The God of Israel. All right. Her name does. The good and evil on the planet. And the Most High God says it in many different places. This is Isaiah 66:4. And actually, let's go up to 1, because it says, thus saith the Lord. I think it's right there. Thus saith the Lord. And this is Isaiah 66:1. The heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith Yahweh. Now, somebody might read this and go, well, see, God said that he made it all. No, the Most High God made Yahushua for the purpose of making everything else. So by his hand, yes, he did make everything. Why? Because without Yahushua, nothing would be made. But moving on. And all those things have been, saith Yahweh. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Right? This is talking about us worshiping idols, right? Doing rituals to other gods that the Most High God has told us not to do, right? Because that's breaking the first and one of the, actually, dare I say, the greatest commandment, not having any other God before the Most High, right? But moving on to verse 4, this is where we get our cut, right? I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer, and when I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. So the Most High God literally is saying, I will choose your delusions. And we see an example of that. I believe it's what, 1 Kings 22? I always forget where this is at. I'm trying not to search it because it's something that I literally pull up constantly, but I always get it confused between 1st and 2nd Kings. I'm trying to fix that. Actually, it might be. Slovakia, 1 second. Is it? No, it has to be 1st Kings. Or 2nd Kings, rather. Slovakia. Okay. I knew it's at in 2nd Chronicles. This shit was in Kings. Slovakia, y'all. I can never find this, man. I do not understand. Well, I found it in Second Chronicles, but I know it's in First Kings. All right, I'm gonna just cross-reference them. So Second Chronicles 18, First Kings 22. Yeah, it is. All right, but in First Kings and in Second Chronicles, we see an example of the Most High God literally holding counsel with His angels. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up here so y'all can see it as well. All right. I still pulled the wrong chapter up. Anyway, so we see that I believe it's Hananiah, or I'm sorry, Micaiah, is standing before King Jehoshaphat of Judah and King Ahab of the northern kingdom of Israel, right? And basically, out of all of King Ahab's prophets and servants that he uses for divination to see if it would be profitable for him to go to war, they all gave him a green light. But although he hates the prophet of Yahweh, he knows that he can't make a move without his say so, right? So he consults Micaiah. And Micaiah lets him know, like, look, you need to go up, but not for the reasons why you think, right? But let's read the account here. And actually, you know what? Six first. Um, we'll start at 5. Therefore, the king of Israel gathered together of prophets. Shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hand. So all of Israel's, King Ahab's servants and prophets said, hey, man, you good to go. Head on up there, man. God's going to deliver them into your hand. You good to go. But Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, he's like, look, man, we're not moving until we get the word from a prophet of the Lord, right? Because that's who I serve. You might serve another god or an idol, but I don't serve that. What did God say about this? The Most High God, Yahweh. But Jehoshaphat said, is there not a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat. Now, this is where you get a perspective of what had happened to our people, right? Our people were truly going off and becoming wicked. They were despising the prophets of the Lord to the point where they were killing them, putting them in prison, right? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. And that's what happens when you're in wickedness, right? Those who get word from the Most High God in the spirit seldom are going to have good things to say to you if you're indulging in wickedness. And this was no exception. The same as Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. And Jehoshaphat said, hey, man, don't say that, bro. Come on, man. That's how you know, again, this is Jake, right? But and the king of Israel called for one of his officers and said, fetch quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat, either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, and they sat in a void place at the entering in of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. So they're sitting there waiting on Micaiah to show up, and their other prophets are still doing their thing, right? And Zedekiah, the son of Chenaanah, had made him horns of iron and said, thus saith Yahweh, with these thou shalt push Syria until they are consumed. And all the prophets prophesied, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper. And Yahweh said, and Yahweh shall deliver it into the hand of the king. To call Micaiah spake to him, saying, behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good. So literally, they're coaching him. They're like, look, man, when you go talk to the king, act like you got some sense, right? You've got hundreds of prophets in there telling him one manner of thing. You need to be on the same page as the rest of them. Let's see what Micaiah has to say about that. And Micaiah said, as Yahweh liveth, even what my God saith, that will I speak. So he said, hey, look, man, I ain't saying nothing except for what the Most High God tells me to say. If y'all don't like it, that's cool, but I'm saying it anyway. And when he was come to the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, go ye up and prosper, and they shall be delivered into your hand. So Micaiah's like, yeah, man, head on up there. You're going to do good. And the king said to him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou say nothing but the truth to me in the name of Yahweh? Then he said, I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And Yahweh said, these have no master. Let them return, therefore, every man to his house in peace. So he's telling them, hey, look, man, God told me to tell you to head on up, right? And the king is like, hey, man, you've never told me anything good. How many times do I have to tell you to tell me the truth? You have to understand the exchange that's going on here. He could put Micaiah to death like that. He could just go, hey, kill this man for lying to me if he perceives deception. But see, he also knows that Micaiah is a prophet of Yahweh. So you can't put your hands on the prophets and come away unscathed. You know what I'm saying? And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would not prophesy good unto me, but evil? And again he said, therefore hear the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting upon his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. And Yahweh said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. So Micaiah is giving him the lowdown on how the Most High God conducted a council against him to have him go and fall at Ramoth Gilead, right? And he's, through words, painting this picture of the Most High God sitting upon his throne, and before him are his endless legions of angels. The angels that are for good on the right, and the angels that are for evil and wickedness on the left. But they all have one goal, and that is to serve the Most High God according to his desires, right? We'll read 19 again, right? And Yahweh said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? So the Most High God is asking all these angels, hey, who gonna convince this nigga to go up there and die? So much for God loving everybody too, right? But, and one spake saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. So you've got the angels, they throwing ideas out, man. And the Most High God is sitting back. He's probably looking at his creations. And he's saying, you know what? I don't like that. Man, that's too messy. That's too bold, man. We ain't trying to kill the whole city. What are you talking about? Like that type of feedback. The Most High God knows what would work. He could do it himself. But the thing is, though, he didn't create all of these things through his son for them to simply not have their purposes fulfilled, right? So they're giving their ideas, and the Most High God is just hearing it, right? But then comes the idea, the successful idea that the Most High God knows is perfect. Here it is in verse 20. Then there came out a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And Yahweh said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. So doesn't that make the delusion that Ahab fell under to go to Ramoth Gilead, that makes that delusion chosen by the Most High God, thus fulfilling the scripture, that the Most High God will choose our delusions. This is just an example, right? But if he could do it to the greatest of us, the kings of Israel and Judah, why can't he do it to the least of us? That's food for thought when you hear Christians say that God is all love, God is all good, and God would never put you in a position where you would be tempted or you might fail. That's not true, right? Because the Most High God chooses your delusions. He just chooses if you come out unscathed or not. So that's the difference. All right. But now, therefore, behold, Yahweh hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and Yahweh hath spoken evil against thee. So you see here that the Most High God chooses your delusions. He holds counsel with his angels to see if you, well, not to see if something is going to happen, but to have something come to pass, right? So if the procession of events is to culminate in your demise, they hold counsel on that. If the procession of events is to culminate and you being successful and victorious and restored to health, they conduct counsel on that. But you got to understand the Most High God creates good and he creates evil. Right? But going back to the assignment, yeah, I can do some of this stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna gather all this stuff for the first Adam. I'm gonna show y'all a little trick that you can use to gather up information as you go from tab to tab. It's just a little trick that I use as a tech writer, because sometimes you don't want to have to open a million windows, or sometimes you need to close some so you can kind of drag some copied information, update it as you go, and close as you go. All right, so okay. Drag that. Okay, you know what? We'll just do 45 by itself. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm gathering this is I'm not sure who's going to need this, right? Because we got some other assignments going on right now. And one is going to be for Adam. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those, because you never know, a brother might need it. All right. Oh, it's 1 and 11 and 1 and 8. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and space this out because I know it's a big block of text. So right. So now that leaves us with a question, right? So if Yahushua was the first created, then who helped him with all of creation? Right. I believe it's in Revelation 7. We'll see. That's 14 though. And then there it is. So the 144,000 are detailed in Revelation 7, but they are mentioned in Revelations 14:4. Ironically, 144, right? But these are this is the elect of the elect, the 144,000 that follow Yahushua whithersoever he goes. So if they follow him wherever he goes, that means that they are his literal personal guard, personal assistants, personal helpers, dare I say, even friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they're everywhere with it. So all of creation is not going to be an exception. So these are going to be those that Yahweh first. All right. So we know now that in the beginning, Yahushua was the first created of the Father, and through him, everything else was created. That's why when you join in on the account of Genesis 1, it starts literally with beings already being present. How do we know? Because Genesis 1 and 1, Elohim, God, in or God, plural, the etc. Right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. If there were multiple people, that means that Yahushua had to be there because he's the first and only begotten of the Father. And through him, everything else was made. So you know that the 144,000 was right because they followed the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. And if he went to create everything, that's somewhere, even if it's a nondescript place that we can't locate because we are in creation. Maybe Yahushua started on another area of the universe. We don't know that. Maybe he started right here. I don't know. But what we do know is in the beginning, there was Yahushua and there were the angels with him. That's what we know. So, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, let's make sure that that's still what we hope it is, right? Because we're hoping that it's still Elohim. What would you know? So we're still talking about Elohim moving around and doing things. So that means the Elohim are the ones who constructed the light. Isn't that right in line with Colossians 1? That says everything was made by him and for him? Yeah, it does. It completely changes the connotation of the creation story, right? Now, we're also going to address the time aspect, right? Because a lot of times, the biblical account of creation doesn't make sense to many people simply because people just can't wrap their head around in 24 hours something like as large as the earth, as large as stars in the sky, as grand as the universe was created. And you know what? That's a valid conundrum to have. Why? Because it's far more unlikely than 1,000-year period transpiring and there being many workers of incalculable power making those things in tandem. That is far more believable than, over the course of 6 days, the Most High God just kept snapping his fingers and everything kept appearing. Because in my mind, if I were a Christian, I would just ask myself, well, how come God just didn't snap his fingers once and knock it all out? See? But that's why you have to understand the time frame that's being dealt with here. All right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to use this as another point altogether. So. Oh, yeah. Salaki. Salaki, just getting a little snack going because I'm gonna try to do a little fasting tonight. So hopefully things work out. But either way, let's keep going. Yeah, we are. Now, one of the things that I will teach y'all later on is how to work with the margins and things of that nature. You can obviously see me doing it. So if you watch the video, there's going to be tactics and things that you can pick up. But in terms of just like formatting pages or stuff as you're constructing documents, typing things out. Again, this is more so if you're interested in trying to get into technical writing, because it does pay a fair amount more than the average job. It is a little harder to get into it since it's a competitive market. Since a lot of times you get to sit at home, you got people who have multiple jobs in this field, literally eating up jobs under the auspice that they don't have one. So they tell employers they're jobless. Basically, they soak up all the free jobs doing that because you could stack these jobs on top of each other, you know. But your objective will probably be to get one of these jobs, and I know most technical writing gigs they pay between 35 and like 50 something. I know on the East Coast and even in California, there's a few jobs floating around that pay over 60 to $70 an hour. So it's decent if you're looking to make close to six figures. It's going to cap out around 120, 150. But that's enough of that. Let's keep typing this up. I know y'all love this cheesy ass jazz, man. I personally don't like it, but it's good. The jazz I would really like to play, they'll copyright strike the video, so you won't hear anything. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. All right, I gotta do something else. This shit trash. So one of the things that you often hear when Christians dispute the Bible, they talk about how when Cain killed Abel, and Cain received his curse, the mark of Cain, and he said, "Everywhere I go, men shall slay me, or they shall seek to slay me." All right. Let me go ahead and bring it up. All right, Genesis 4. Yeah, let me put that here real quick. So, like, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm trying to frame this out. I can't get my blanket away from this chair, man. Yeah, man, it's cold this morning, man. I just wanted to stay in bed, but gotta get up and do the work. And I'm trying to see how I want to structure this out. I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is like one of the this is some of the I guess the difficulties of tech writing when you're trying to figure out where you want to place things. That comes easier as you get better at it, but yeah. Mm, okay, yeah, we'll do that again. Okay, cool. Right, this back. Okay, doing this for consistency as well. Okay, and then we should be able to. There we go. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this in Genesis real quick. I know it was a long pause between trying to do some work as well. I'm about to go ahead and sign off and start getting ready for camp today. I'm gonna build my lesson out. Still not sure what my lesson is gonna be on, but we'll get there. Let's go to Genesis 4. So this is Genesis 4 and 13, and this is after Cain has slain Abel, and has is slain. I don't think that's a word. Well, anyway, this is after Cain slew Abel, right? And the Most High God came inquiring, right, about Abel, knowing what had happened to him, because, as the Bible says, as a matter of fact, it's right here, because actually no, it's up in the chapter. Right. So the Most High God came inquiring of Cain, hey, where is Abel thy brother? Right, as we see in verse 9. And he said, I knew not. Am I my brother's keeper? So Cain had a mouth on him, man. He said, hey, man, am I my brother's keeper? I didn't know I was supposed to be responsible for this dude. Verse 10, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So not only did the Most High God know that Cain had murdered Abel, because when your spirit departs your vessel, it returns to the Most High God for judgment, as it says in 2nd Ezra, I believe, 2nd Ezra 14. But the blood of Abel cried unto the Most High God from the ground. All right. But this is 2nd Ezra 14:34. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Right? So the Most High God deals directly in the issues of life and death. This is Psalm 68 and 20. He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto the Most High, capital G, O-D, and unto God the Lord belong the issues from death. So when you die, the Most High God directly deals with that. Right? So that's why when you hear about, when you hear about these damn devils talking about they're trying to, keep somebody's soul in their mind in the machine, or they're trying to, they're trying to keep somebody alive and all this other stuff. You can keep this vessel, operating, the heart beating and things of that nature. But when you go brain dead and this vessel dies, the Most High God takes the spirit out of the vessel. So it doesn't matter what you do to it. It's not going to live. All right. That's why Esau is trying to keep himself perpetuating in terms of his numbers and his people through AI and machines. See, his design is he's just going to put himself in a machine, and that will be the fix. He can live forever and have as many powers as he can achieve technologically, right? But the Most High God is going to disappoint him, right? But we see here in Psalm 68:20 and 2nd Ezra 14 and 34 through 35, that the Most High God deals directly with the issues of death. And after you die, your spirit returns directly unto him, and you receive your judgment, and then you live again. All right. And you live again after about 60 to 80 years, about 2 generations. Whew, man. I'm tired, man. I should have got more sleep. But either way. So, with that being said, when Cain was saying, basically, being smart with the Most High God, and the Most High God, accused him righteously and rendered a judgment, you see that Cain was fearful because of the punishment that the Most High God put on him. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's see what that punishment is. This is Genesis 4 and 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And this certainly explains the behavior of a certain group of people that we know to have the mark of Cain, right? The Edomites are the only group of people on the planet where when you see them, if they haven't been miscegenating with our women to get some pallor to their skin, you know without a shadow of a doubt that these are the people who lack melanin. These are the people who can't go out in the sun. These are also the people who can't farm worth a damn. Because last time I checked, in order to really be a proficient farmer, you need to work the land. You need to be out there, not riding around on a tractor impacting the soil and compacting it to the point where it can't, abide life. Right? You don't need to be spraying fertilizers and chemicals on the land so that you can basically grape the earth. No, I say grape, right? But take from the earth and the earth be able to give it forth abundantly. Like that's what Esau tries to do, and it has a diminishing return with each successive generation to the point where now we see here in Babylon that they can't even grow crops reliably. Like it's failures every year. As a matter of fact, in North Texas, due to the so-called wildfires, and I do the air quotes because of the wildfires are being precipitated by sights of lasers coming down from the sky, right? Whether they be from chariots or from the directed energy weapons that Esau employs at his disposal, right? These wildfires have already pretty much destroyed any hope they have of any type of crops or bountiful harvest for the year, right? And it is still the month of March, early March, and they're already saying, "Hey, look, this year is a wash." And this is in tandem with the year before that being bad, the year before that being bad, and the year before that being bad as well. So now we're seeing that there's a group of people on the planet that are vagabonds and fugitives. They go all about the earth, stealing from others because the earth will not yield unto them her strength. And we see that as Esau, all right, so-called white man. That's why he has to have the Israelites in slavery. That's why he has to put other nations in subjection so that they can go do the work that he can't do for himself. Right? But reading on, and Cain said unto the Lord, or said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Who are these people? Up until this point, you have Adam and Eve, and then Cain and Abel. Cain has killed Abel. So now you have Adam, Eve, and Cain. And then Seth is going to come along. Cain and Seth are going to go out into other nations and find wives. Who had these daughters for them to make wives of? And this is where you have to understand that on the fifth day, you had all the things that creepeth and breatheth upon the earth made. And on the seventh day, you had Adam, who was selected. Adam was not made. He was already there. He was born of the people who were already on the earth. On the seventh day, he was chosen. And the Most High God showed his selection by breathing into Adam the breath of life, which we know that breath of life is really wisdom, according to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, I believe. Right? Try not to yawn too much, man, but damn. I'm gonna have to take a nap before camp, man. This is bad. But so we see evidence here in Genesis 4, and you know what? We'll do 12 through 14. Yeah, we'll do 12 through 14. Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let me put all this on the next page. Actually, was he able to take a wife? Okay. Okay. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Oh, I need to check it out. All right. So we have Genesis 1 and 23. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, and this is the Elohim again, right? And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. During this time, man was made, because last time I checked, we creep upon the earth, we breathe upon the earth. We don't live in the water. We're not an aquatic people, right? Hence why we have the following verse. And God said, let us make man in our image. Well, what man could there be to make if man was not made on the fifth day? And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. I thought Eve was the first woman on the planet. Even if you want to make the argument that Adam was, not the first man on the planet. Or I'm sorry, yeah, if he wasn't. You also have to concede that that the first female on the planet was not Eve, right? She was basically created to be the perfect mate for Adam, right? Because you have to understand, Adam being the one of the previous comings of Yahushua, I'll say that, right? Adam being the first Yahushua, or the first Christ, we see that, even so, he was born among many people, right? He was just basically another vessel in which the spirit that Yahushua was put into, right? And the Most High God selected Adam and breathed into him the breath of life. And we're going to see that in Genesis 2. But I just wanted to bring this out and show that the man and woman were created on the fifth day. And that fifth day is 1,000-year period. So imagine all the peoples, different groups of people were created upon the earth, right? And they were given 1,000 years to spread out, to have children, to build up societies. That's why Cain was able to go to the land of Nod and basically get a wife, because those people had already been, established in another land. They had sons and daughters. They had women for Cain to look through and see if he could find a suitable wife, and he found one, right? That's why Abel was able to go out and basically have children as well. Or I'm sorry, Seth, right? But I'm trying to see if that's here. Yep, there it is. So, and it's in Genesis 5. And hold on a second. So in Genesis 5 and 4, it describes the days of Seth, right? And it says that he begot sons and daughters. Again, if there were no other women, because they didn't have any sisters, where did they get these women from to procreate with? And last time I checked, you're not supposed to have children with your own mother, right? So it prompts the question of how can you have the belief that Adam and Eve were the first people on the planet? Meanwhile, it would require Eve to have had children with her own sons for them to, in fact, have had children themselves. So naysayers and those who wish to pick fun at Christianity have completely suitable reasons to do so if your understanding of the creation event is that Adam and Eve were the first and only humans created on the earth. But see, more times than not, the creation story is not really fixated upon by most Christians. So they don't understand what they're reading. They don't even understand what they believe. They just know about Adam and Eve, a snake and an apple, and that's about it. All right. But let's go ahead and get this last point, and then we're going to go ahead and sign off. This was mainly just a hangout session. But if you learned a little bit, all praises. If you were able to relax a little bit, all praises, right? But let's keep going. Oh. Yeah. Actually, I want to see something real quick. Now, if you want to cut somebody, and I know this is kind of random, I was just thinking as I was reading, right? Because when you look at the how they try to say that Adam means red, right? When you go into the root of this word. But if you look up ruddy man, they're gonna try to show you some peckerwoods, right? But when you look at ruddy people, this is ruddy. Denotes a reddish hue for a skin tone, right? Because how could somebody be called ruddy or red when somebody who was devoid of melanin had not yet been born upon the earth? And we know that this cannot give rise to this in terms of hue. But we do know that this can give rise to this, that. How do we know, right? We see an example of that today, right? Where we'll have twins that come out, whether they have one white parent, one black parent, or two black parents all together, right? See, Esau is trying to do the whole, yeah, see, like we have equally dominant genes. See, we got one of them and you got one. Bullshit. Because two black parents, white child. This is where it's really coming from. It's coming from you, Jake. See, Esau knows that you are the one who gave rise to all the different phenotypes of the earth. That's why we all come from Adam, right? We all come from Adam because after the flood, all the people who didn't come of Adam were put to death because Noah is a direct descendant of Adam, right? But going forward, we see that we see literally black parents giving rise to albino children on a fairly regular basis. Now, but the thing is, we don't even concern ourselves about color whatsoever. Why is that? Because it's about your lineage. It's about who your father is. Now, you might look at photos like this where they try to go, you see what I'm saying? They say, well, I have two white babies. Yeah, you do. They're Edomites. They have a few phenotypical expressions of their mother, but it's not about your phenotypical expressions. It's about your lineage, right? Now, I would love to know if this is their actual child. right? Like she gave birth to this child, right? Adoption. There it is. So you have to understand something, man. These folks are trying to muddy the waters of where people come from, who can produce what. And see, what they'll tell you is, hey, man, race ain't a big deal, bro. It's not a big deal to us. Okay. So my question is, if race isn't a big deal to you, why do you want our kids? And I know this is an aside to the lesson, but since I have this up, I always have to ask this question of Edomites who happen to either walk by the camp or come up to the camp when they have our children with them. I always ask them, why do you have our kids? All your kids who don't have parents as a result of the opioid epidemic, the results of fathers leaving, because it's not just Jake who desert their kids. The OG deadbeat dad is Esau, right? So my question always is, why do you want our children? Why? Knowing all the racial stigmas that come along with our people just simply being alive in Western society. Why do you want our children when you have nothing to teach them, no way to defend them? Why do you want them? See, I'm never fooled by these smiling faces, because when this kid gets old enough to hold a damn broom and a mop, that kid's going to get put to work. When they get other white children, they're going to treat that kid less than their other children. Why? Because we see it in society all the time. There are videos on YouTube where you can see white adoptive parents treating the so-called black child of the family like absolute shit, and the other kids are being fed full meals. They're being given liberty. They're being given all types of luxuries, while the black child or the Hispanic child is kept in the house like a personal servant to the family, a whipping child, if you will. So again, I have to question, why do you want our children so damn bad? Why? But it looks like they grabbed the Ethiopian child. And you know what? Long as you stay away from Jake, man, I'm not tripping about that. Stay away from our people. But let's get back to the lesson here, because I saw that picture and it was just bugging me as I was looking. I was like, why are they trying to make it like these two Peckerwoods produced this Israelite child? And then you go into the story and it's nothing on how it looks. It's completely different. The child was Ethiopian and they adopted the child. But see, with Jake, we can give birth to children that look the entire spectrum. We can give birth to children who have hazel and blue eyes, who have blonde hair, red hair, straight hair, curly hair, every phenotypical expression possible. We can give birth to that. That's why when you see the account of Jacob and Esau, it shouldn't throw you for a loop. Because that is another question that you will get. How could two people produce two vastly differing children in terms of their looks? But when you look at Cain having to come through the regeneration, that mark of Cain stuck. It was a curse, right? And I want to show you another person. All right. Reward. So this is where Gehazi, because he took a reward for an act that Elisha had done. Elisha didn't take any reward for the thing that he had done to glorify the Lord, right? But Gehazi, being his underling, right, basically went and took the reward on his behalf, right? So we're gonna go ahead and read this account, because what you're gonna see here is that another Israelite is afflicted with leprosy and became a clean leper, white as snow, right? And it was appointed unto his seed forever. Now, if I were an Edomite, my argument would be, I'm of this lineage here. That would be my argument. Because you're one of two people. You're either going to be an Edomite, or you're going to be a descendant of Gehazi, if you're strictly speaking on likeness and power, right? Now, we know it's far more complex and deeper than that. But if I were coming with a paper-thin defense that could hold up under some form of scrutiny, it would be this. I would claim to be a descendant of Gehazi. But let's go ahead and read it, right? So it's down to 27. Let's see. One second. So you have this man, Naaman. He's a leper, right? But he was a mighty man of valor, right? And he was obviously captain of the host of Syria, right? So yeah, let's just read the account, right? This is 2 Kings 5:1. Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, and honorable, because by him Yahweh had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor, or a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper, right? Now, I do want to see, because I know he's captain of the host, but is he in fact an Israelite? Because we've been in many different nations' militaries. But either way, reading on. And the Assyrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And she said unto her mistress, would God my Lord were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. And one went in and told his Lord, saying, thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Israel said, go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. All right. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and see. Maybe, just maybe, it will tell us outright. No, it doesn't state his nationality, at least so far. Anyway, so this is 2 Kings 5:7. And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. And it was so, when Elisha the man of God had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman went with his horses and his chariot and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. Now, I know people might be going, well, why did he tell him to go wash 7 times? If you truly believe a man, you're going to do exactly what he tells you to do. And if he tells you to do something 7 times, you got to think 6 times you're going to do it, and you're not going to get the desired result. It's going to take faith, right? So he gave him a trial of faith, simply to have him go and do it, to show that he believed in the Most High God and he was obedient, right? And Naaman did such a thing, right? But Naaman was wroth and went away and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call in the name of Yahweh his God and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then he saith to thee, Wash and be clean. So he had a moment of tantrum where he's like, yo, I could have washed in these rivers at home. The rivers where I come from are better than the rivers of Israel. Why not tell me to go wash in those? But his servants came and said, hey, look, man, hey, before you like, get all bent out of shape and you go off, listen to the man. Because if he had told you to do some great, arduous thing, you would have done it. But he told you something simple, so now you don't believe. Right? Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. You have to remember, during this time, the only people being born looking like anybody else were the Edomites. The Syrians were a brown and black people as well. It wasn't just the Israelites who were predominantly of a darker hue, whether they were dark like, near black, or, brown and ruddy, brownish red, or light skin, like a red bone, like today, right? And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now, therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As Yahweh liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. So you see here that Elisha is saying, hey, look, I'm not taking payment for this. Right? But he said, as the Most High God liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto Yahweh. In this thing Yahweh pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship thee, and he leaneth on my hand, and I will bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, Yahweh pardon thy servant in this thing. So I'm thinking that he's obviously a heathen, right? Because he's worshiping another god, Rimmon, and he's giving on to Elisha to provide for a sacrifice to honor the Most High God of Israel, right? And he's also asking that, a charge not be laid onto him for worshiping another idol while he's trying to honor the God of Israel, right? And he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him, and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? So Elisha, his underling Gehazi, had seen what had happened, and he was like, okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do, since Elisha didn't take nothing from him, I'm not going to take the full reward. I'll take a little bit of it because, hey, he did a good thing. Why not get paid for our work, right? But see, he didn't quite understand that Elisha had said, as the Lord liveth, he wouldn't take the payment, right? So he made an oath that he wasn't going to take payment for that action. And he said, all is well. My master had sent me. So he lied, right? Saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents. So not only did Naaman want to give a reward, he doubled the reward. He literally gave him 2 talents instead of 1. Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, and 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. So Gehazi went and collected a reward. So, let me turn this food off real quick before I burn my apartment down. 1 second. Burn it. It's just oil. All right. Cool. Yeah, still good. Sloppy. All right. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments in olive yards, in vineyards, in sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? So basically he called him out. He said, oh, okay, cool. So you're going to go ahead and lie? All right. So I'm going to just let you know. I saw everything that you was doing. I see it through the spirit. The Most High God has given me, the ability to see what's going on. I know what you're saying is not true, right? The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. All right. So he got cursed. He got cursed with leprosy. That doesn't mean he wasn't an Israelite anymore. That just means he ain't got no melanin. So now every time he go out in the sun, he gonna burn up. Now you got to think, these descendants of this person Gehazi, they're being born in Israel today, and not the land. I'm talking about through the Israelites, right? And chances are, actually, you know what? Let me confirm that before I say this, right? Because more than likely he would have been a Levite. Right. Now, like it doesn't say anything about where he comes from. Man. And you see Gehazi still having to go do work after being cursed with with leprosy. You know what I'm saying? So his job didn't end just because he got cursed. He got checked, he got judged for what he did. But the Most High God will in no wise let thee go. Like, you have to understand that doesn't relieve you of your job. All right, what's going on there? This is Sirach 5:4. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Just because you receive your judgment or you've yet to receive your judgment doesn't mean the Most High God gonna let you go. That is not what that means. That's why you see Gehazi in the 8th chapter of 2 Kings literally still serving Elisha. You know, he got his punishment for what he did. He unjustly took a reward that was not his to take, and he lied about it. He lied both to Elisha and he lied to Naaman, and he lied in the name of the Lord. So he got checked for it. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you know, when you're talking about, you know, Cain going from nation to nation, having children, you know, of course, we know his first wife was found in the land of Nod, right? He had children. That mark would have been passed down to his children and his children and his children's children. But eventually, Cain would have to come back through the regeneration. And upon returning, Cain would bear the mark that he was cursed with, which would be to have no melanin, to be cursed as a clean leper, and not to mention the other curses that followed him, right? That's why you see that when he returned as Esau, Esau was a cunning hunter. He was no longer a man who was capable of tilling the soil, tilling the earth. Because why would you spend your time doing something which would yield you no profit? So Esau became a cunning hunter, whereas Jacob was a plain man who dwelt in tents. And by plain man, okay, cool, that brother coming to camp tonight, all praises. But as a man who dwells in tents and keeps at home, he would certainly have work to do, and that work would be to till the fields, you know, work farmland, things of that nature. All right. That's why Jacob was what you would describe as a perfect man, a man desiring no improvements, right? What you would call him today would be an all-around good guy, right? He's just proficient in everything. He's not the best of the best. He's never the worst of the worst. He's the most solid individual you could hope for, right? As a matter of fact, I want to prove that. Because when it says that he was a plain man, you have to understand that the word for plain there essentially is perfect. Right? Tom, H8535. Again, the word is Tom in the Hebrew, right? Means perfect, complete, one who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, etc. Sound, wholesome, an ordinary, quiet sort of person, complete, morally innocent, having integrity, one who is morally and ethically pure. So again, Jacob would be what they would call a boring but Mr. Right type individual, right? Of sound strength, sound mind, sound moral fiber, everything not lacking. Perfect. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and end it so I can get started on my studying and my note taking for camp today. I will come back to this. And when I do, I will go ahead and fire up the live again. And yeah. But until then, guys, shalom, call halal Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And yeah, man, y'all stay safe out on them streets today if you go to camp. All right. Shalom.